So this is a HANA in-memory computing engine. That's called a HTB, the server itself. The upper part is called a BO environment where we can record, and here it's called a studio, the software studio. We can link the studio to server with the help of a client, and this is called a ERP, or we call it ER model. Okay, this is a EC server. This is a BW and BODS server. The BW and the third-party system. Okay, so first we learn about the SAP HANA engine. This is a SAP HANA engine. You can see here we do have in-memory computing engine, a section management. So here what happened here? So when if you provide any request, when the request will go to the server, HANA server, it will go for the section management. When you go for the section management, it will check by the request processing or execute control. These two processes. So if you are providing any input, it is called a request processing. If you are pulling out the data for reporting environment, it's called execution control. Okay. Then if you are providing any request, let us go for SQL parse. Check first the SQL parse, then go for SQL script. Based on client requirement, if you are storing the data in the column or row, okay, it's showing the column storage default. From column storage to it move the record to the page management. Page management. While the data in the page management, a persistent layer you should check the quality of data. Then while checking the data, a log will generate in a logger. Then the ultimate data record will be stored in the data volume only. Okay, data volume, the bigger store. And if you are performing any runtime calculation, okay, like creating an attribute view, calculation view, and doing some random calculation, that is handled by the calculation engine or MDX. MDX will be handled when you do the analyzing part, reporting part, and if you are performing any runtime calculation, that is handled by the calculation engine. Okay, and if you are pulling the data from the SAP, if you are doing any migrations, okay, if you are doing any migrations, suppose you are doing migration from SAP ECC, this is my ECC server, you are loading ECC from the replication server modeling option. When you go for this replication server, the data will go to page management. So before loading the data in the page this replication server, first you have to check out with the authorization management and also transaction management. The authorization management will check whether you have a correct authentication to enter the SAP HANA system. As well, we have one more thing is transaction management. A transaction management is the one we can check out the whether it is a OLTP or OLP, because as I said previously, HANA is a combination of OLTP plus OLP now. So as we are loading data, ECC is the OLTP data only always. So ECC data will be goes to replication server. So it is checked by the transaction manager. So why we are using a replication server? Because so very first time if you load the data, the record will be loaded, entire load, the full data will be loaded to the page management. But from second onwards, if you are performing any update record like delta changes, in order to load the delta changes, we are using a replication server to load the delta changes, like delta update. Means what? The update records only. Instead of loading a full data, we can load only the updated records into a page management with the help of replication server. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So here the replication server plays a major role by the SLT part. It will based on the log replication as well as a trigger based replication also. Okay, log based replication we also call it. So once the data comes from the replication server to page management, so this data will be checked by the persistent layer. The persistent layer is called to check the quality of data. So while checking the quality of data, a log will be generated, held by the logger folder. Then after holding all the stuff, by default, if the table will have any primary key, it will convert into a column storage and store into data volume. If the table will doesn't have any primary key, it will remain same as the row storage only and store into data volume. Okay, these things. But if you are loading data from the BW or any other third party like Oracle SQL system through BODS, so we have to use a ETL tool called BODS, Business Object Data Services here. So this BW server. So this BW data, so this BODS will pull the data from the source system. It will be BW or any third party system into a BODS environment. From here we directly go to page management. Okay, but here we are not focusing on the replication server. Why? Because replication server will acting as a delta change, but in BODS we do have a topic called table comparison as well as the key generator. With the help of table comparison and key generator, we can perform a delta change record. Means what? If the source system is updating, in target also it will be update. Okay, without loading the full data. That is the that can be performed by the BODs itself only. So here we don't need away this application server, because in the ECC there is no option of doing the delta load. That's why we are using a engine called application server engine in order to check the delta load only. But in the BODs it has its own option, so that we can do this delta change. Okay? The same thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are things we do have here. Then, so as you know, the record will be stored in the row storage and column storage, but all the stuff will be handled by the metadata. And as a user, we can do the interface with the modeling part. And if you want to create a report on this stuff, we can create a report on this BO environment. So we have BO, all the reporting tools. Okay, all the reporting tools will be handled with BO. So here for reporting we use a BO 4.0 version for create report. Because in HANA database, if you see, the record will be stored in the table format as well as view format, like attribute view, calculation view, analytical view. So based on that also we can create a report. That's a facility we do have in the system. Okay. And this page management, this operator, like the administration will be take care of this stuff. Okay. So as a modeler, you will take care of this stuff. As administration will take care of this packet, like configuration, tracing, some like authentication, creations, all the stuff. We will handle by the this part. So here is the entire application performance. You can see here it's a SAP in-memory computing engine, which has a replication server, pull the data from the replication agent through EC server. And if you are using any other third-party tool like a BODS, through BODS we are loading data that we use. Here we are using a application server, we are using a BODS. And when connected to this studio to user, we can use a JDBC or ODBC, both the ways we can use. And for reporting environment, we can use these connections also. Okay. So the things we have here. And when you install a software like SAP HANA system, but we don't install, we can buy from the SAP vendor. We will install a software, we get this SAP HANA appliance only one node. But because if you use only one node in real time, what happens? If you get a multiple request and suddenly this host was some button, so it will stop working. So entire system is going to stop. Okay. So instead of doing that one, what we are doing, we are converting this a single application into multiple nodes, like one node 2, node 3, like this. So what happens? This will be acting as a master node and this are acting as a slave. So when the request will come to master, the master will send a request parallelly to the respect of the nodes. Okay. If any of these nodes is like if the node 2 is not working, so node 3 and node 4 is working, so that will handle the work. So meanwhile, the node 2 work will be handled by the master, and the administrator will take care of this node 2. They'll do some repair of this stuff. Okay. So if you do any databases, it has some services. If you take here index services, okay, we call it index server or services. So what is the use of index services? It holds the data and execute all the operation. So index service is only one important which hold all the database records only. Okay, the values. Okay, all the data will be held by the index services. If index service has failure, so entire system is failure. Okay. Then we have pre-process services. So pre-process unstructured data. Like if you are using any flat file loading like CSV, TXT, Excel sheets, okay, unstructured data, they convert it to structured data using this option. Okay. Then we have a name services. So maintain the landscape information. It will maintain the landscape information. Okay, this is the name server. So it maintains the landscape information. And we have static services. So collects performance data about the HANA. Like it will perform. Okay. So this static services collects the performance, only performance limits only. And as well as we have HANA host, solution management, diagnostics. SAP HANA Studio, GUI repository, all the stuff. So other administration will make this host into multiple nodes. Like so. So you can see the host 1, host B, host C. If host is not working fine, the request which is assigned to host 3, host C will be assigned to a standard server. Okay. So meanwhile, the admin will take care of the some doing repairing of the host C. Like so. These are all the other scenarios based on the requirement. You can see later. These are things we do have here. So when you go for the configuration part here, this is one configuration part about the studio and the client. Okay. So first step is we have to involve the configuration of the studio and the client. Okay. So we can learn how to connect the HANA client to HANA server. Okay, with the help of ODBC. Okay. Because it's practically then get a clear idea. Okay. This is a system. Go here, control panel, choose admin tool, then go for ODBC drivers. So in this drivers, you can go with the drivers here. You can find HDB ODBC drivers. Then in order to connect this client to server, go for system DSN, add, use HDB ODBC, provide a description, then server name, port number. In my case, the server name, port number is SAP HANA is a server name which is given by the system, and port number is 30015. You can find this details from the SAP login pad. It is given by this guy. Even this will produce all the details for you. Okay. So the host name is SAP HANA, port number is 30015. Then connect. Now product username, password. Now when you connect the system, now you can see the connection is done. Okay, connection is successfully connected. So right now we are connected only ODBC. Through ODBC we connected client to server only, not the studio to client. Okay, guys, you can able to establish a connection to client to server, but server will be installed in the Linux box separate machine. So we are connecting through cloud. Okay, because in order to install the server, we need to have at least for demo system we need to have at least 50 GB RAM or 100 GB RAM. But for real time we need to have 4 TB RAM. So here there is no RAM existing, right? Once you done this connection, now open your studio. When you install the studio in your machine, you can see the studio icons also, how it looks like. Okay, so when you install this SAP HANA Studio, we get the studio like this one, an empty screen, because here no system is configured. We can open this studio with the SAP HANA modular screen. We can also open this admin console, lifecycle management, all this stuff. We can see here Windows. We have open perspectives. We have different perspectives. We can based on client requirement, based on your requirement, you can open a different But as a developer, you also always open the HANA model only. And if you are performing multiple tasks, then go for Windows, new window. Whereas you open the multiple windows. So if you are performing multiple tasks, okay. And if you want to connect this studio to server, so right click on this open space, right click, add system. Then we can provide this host name is SAP HANA. Instance number, description. Then next username password. Now connect. Now you can see this a system is ready. Correct. And you can see here, even though we connect to database, you can find here no system is configured. Why? Because here this studio will support the multi-threading, like multi-users. So we can able to connect this user to multi-database also. By using search system, we can search in this user. Okay. If you are searching one more user, we can also search this. You can see here. Let me search one more user. So we got 2 years. Okay. If you are using this user, you can see here we got here username is best. You can start Srinivas, username is Srinivas. So if you perform any operation on this term, it will reflect in this database only. Okay. If you use best, if you are doing any operation based on this one, it will reflect in this term. That's called a, so means what, this studio will connect to multi DB connections, multi database connection. Okay. That is able to connect. So when you connect any databases, we get this 5 folder predefined folders. So you can see the backup folder. A backup folder is the one which can able to do all the backup activities. We can perform all the backup activities. Okay. And we have catalog. So catalog is the one which can directly point to database, which is directly point to the database. So if you create any tables, views, any SQL queries, all will hold by the catalog. Okay. All the data will be held by the catalog. And we have content here. So content is the one which can hold the structure only. Like if you have to perform any package, attribute view, analytical view, calculation view, all this will be held by the content, only structure only. But the data will be held by the catalog. Internally, the data will be held by the catalog. And we have provisioning. The provisioning will hold the like smart data, remote access, all those stuff. Like configuration part between the SAP HANA system and the different systems, SAP and non-SAP. And we do have security part. In security part, we can hold the user creation and role creation. Okay.
Interrupt you. Hello.
Yeah, tell me.
Sir, sorry to interrupt. Catalog means only for viewing purpose, right?
Catalog. No. Content is for view purpose, but catalog we can hold data, which hold the data, tables, database tables.
Okay.
Views, each and everything.
Okay.
Content only for viewing purpose, only view purpose.
Okay. Provisioning.
Provisioning means the configuration part between the SAP HANA system and the Oracle or SQL SAP CCBW that's called.
Okay.
Security means you like user creation, role creation, assign the rights.
Okay.
Okay, I see.
Okay.
These are things we do have here. Okay, so if you have performed any operation, here we have job logs. You can see the job logs, all the stuff. Okay, then we go for modeling. We know from here we can start the modeling part. This is all just basic theory.
Like same as BA, right?
Yes, same as BA. So in this modeling, what we can learn? We can learn about the schema creation first one. Okay. So what I use a schema? See, when you create this particular schema, a schema is the one which allocates some space in memory database. A schema is the one which allocate a memory space in database. Okay, in database. So when you create a schema, in order to create a schema, there is no graphical things. We have to write a SQL code. For this code is schema, then space, then within double quotation we have the schema name. I'll write a cap, okay, or Tekson. Okay, this is a schema name. Then just execute, though there is no full stop dot semicolon, just directly execute. A schema is created, and this schema is created in the HDB of a catalog folder. Okay, which folder? This catalog folder. So when you create this schema has a Tekson, this schema will hold the level predefined folders. Okay, so like we are using this studio is like Service Pack 8. In Service Pack 7 we have only 9 folders. In Service Pack 8 we are getting 8 or 9 we are getting level folders. Okay, so the level folders are, first folder is column, view, second folder is ERP model, third one is EPM query, fourth one is functions, fifth one is index, then we have procedure, then we have sequence, then we have triggers, then we have tables, then we have view, then we have synonyms. Okay, these are level folders we get. Okay, Service Pack 8 or 9. If you are using Service Pack 7, we don't get these 2 folders. Okay, so if you want to create, like if you want to create any tables, so just right click on this table folder and create a table. If you are creating a view, just right click on this view and create a view. If you are creating any procedure, any SQL queries, it will hold by the procedure. If you are writing a triggers or sequence, it will hold by the respect of their folders. Like this we have. Okay, so is a schema creation, and the schema, when you create a schema, this thing will be loaded, the predefined folders. Let me see this practically. So in order to create a schema, I said no, we have to get a SQL console. Just scroll down in the quick launch page. We have here open SQL console. We can open from here. As here we have a small icon, open SQL console. As right launch database, open SQL console. Nice.
But in that SQL you have a code in ABAP.
Okay.
In the SQL you have to write a code in ABAP or
SQL code, not ABAP code.
SQL. But we don't know how to write in the
SQL.
Yeah.
I'll teach you na SQL also to choose na. I'll teach you the like DDL command, DML command, no issues. I'll teach you.
Okay, see, compared to ABAP.
Which one? This one?
SQL script compared to ABAP is the easy one or it's difficult?
No, SQL is very easy.
Okay.
See here, I had a simple code of creating a schema. Just a one line, 2 words.
Okay.
Create schema. Simple. This is a code. Tekson.
Okay.
And then execute. Here the button called execute. So here there is no push start order thing. Here we call button called execute. You can see successfully executed in 12 milliseconds, 3 microseconds. And we can get this folder in a catalog folder. So Tekson, right? So T means last. Here we got. And open your folder.
Okay.
You can find here all this. So maybe you are using the like Service Pack 7. So we get only 9 folders. 1, 2, 3. Just all you can see. Okay. Column views. So I said na. So in Service Pack 8 we get this 2 folder extra. Okay. Here we do have column views, functions, index, procedure, sequence, all this stuff. And if you open any folder here, it's our empty folders only.
Okay.
Okay, listen. So as you do any creation of tables, it's based on that, it will perform the operation. It will hold the data, views, all the stuff. So basically, it holds just a like minimum of minimum less space in database based on your requirement. Like you create a table, you load the data, the size of the data, size of the table. Based on that one, it will hold the more space. Done. So the things we do have here. Okay, any queries?
No, fine, clear, sir.
Okay, and the other things we do have here. And as well as we do have the table creations, view creations, all the stuff. So like if you want to create a new, so let me create one new table. Okay, a fact table from this schema. Just right click on this table folder, new table. So when you can, because there is no code we wrote here, we
Okay.
write some navigation steps only. Here we put some table name. I'll give fact is a table name. It will store in the schema called the Tekson schema, and the type will be the constant. Default is a constant. But if you want to change, you can change as row or table type also. Both the ways you can change. But default is a constant. And here we would have field. Let me give a field name called first field is customer ID, some customer ID. Okay. Type some VAC characteristics, then some file. Okay. So I need it. So it's a primary key. So just assign here primary key. Just click it. Then in order to assign a second field, just use this green color plus button plus then mat ID, second field, MAT ID. If you don't use that this button, we don't use here. So next, again, if you don't write here, you don't try to enter values. Just press the button, then you get a quantity, and it's a type called integer. For integer, we don't try length; it will take automatic. Then we do, for integer we do have, for measure we do have here measure object. It's a var characteristics of length some 4. Then we have price. Price also integer. Then for price we do have currency. It's a type var characteristics of 5. Then execute. A table is created. You can see, but internally a table statement is created. SQL code is created. But we don't create here. That will done internally. Then just right click on this folder, refresh. Okay, like this we get. Now when you try to right click on this table, go for data preview. It's an empty. Because we got a field, but then these are no recorded. We didn't load the data. So when you load the data here, like you not load the data, we use a
Like, sir, one more thing. Sir, one question, sir. Like same thing, like BA creating a info object, right?
exactly. In BI we create an info object, no? In info object,
Okay.
RS7 same option. But loading also same thing. In, we load some field. It's a flat file loading, like CSV flat file loading. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, IP. Same thing here. So here we use the import option here. Import option. We get a list of this here. SAP HANA content. Expand. Data from local file. Then browser file. Then we are choose this factor because I need to put the same structure on because the file is already there. You can see the factor with the same fields. The customer ID, mat ID, quantity, units, price, and currency. It's already there. So I'm loading same fields. Okay.
Okay.
When header row exists, it has header row. So it is not a record. So we can load avoid that one. Then import
Yes,
data
sir.
from file. Then we are using the table is already there. So choose existing here. Insert table. Insert your schema name called Tekson. Then next. Then you can find here this is called mapping, one-to-one mapping, just like a transformation. Okay. Means what this field goes to this field, this field goes to this field. Also. Then next, then finish. Okay, nice view. So you can see job logs importing flat file is done complete successfully. Now see the data. Right click on this one. Go for data preview. But guys, we are able to get the data.
Okay. So what is the next step? Like in BI, you can do like upper info providers DSO, right?
Hmm.
In
So
there
next,
in HANA?
we once is the record is loaded in the table. Based on this table, we can attribute view, calculation view, and tell you. And based on this table, we can do some views. As well as we can write some queries, and we send to the reporting environment. That's called view.
So on the top of the views, you can create the reports, right?
Exactly.
So like views means like in BI, you can calculate info providers.
Info provider, info sets, same thing.
Okay, same. So like
And
I heard the someone folds calculator view. That's are comes in different, right?
no, so in BI, right? BI 7.4 is the same as a BI 7.3 also, but we got
No,
some
no, no.
extra features.
HANA, HANA,
HANA,
HANA, HANA database, right?
database is 1.0, 1.4.
No, no, I'm asking HANA only database. We can load the data up to HANA. After that, you can perform the report wise, right?
Exactly, exactly.
Rep-
Reporting
reports
on
you
the,
can take BODS help, right?
yes, yes.
Okay, fine. Thanks for that. Okay.
Okay, so we can see all the stuff practical also, all the reporting and BODS environment, loading data. So the
In the
things,
Bex also you can use that, like in the HANA Bex query designer.
no, no, we can't use. We only use the BO only. Bex is not possible.
Yeah, but so I have to learn BO also, right? I don't know BO
Exactly.
also.
Exactly. We
Okay,
will see
okay, sir.
later. First learn HANA, then later we can see the view also.
Okay, sir. No problem.
So okay, today class is fine
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fully happy with that.
because once we go with this now, so we can, like, even because even you have to practice now because if I go further also, if you
One more.
don't practice, you're wasting
I
time.
have
Yeah,
in. How can I record this session? Like,
yeah. I will teach you by tomorrow. No issues. I'll do the recording. I'll give this option also how to do recording. I will teach you everything. Okay, how to do the
okay, one.
recording, where the recording will be saved, and how to play the recording also.
Okay, after that I want to do some practice. How could I go that one also, right? Server.
Yeah. They'll provide the training days. They'll provide you this online server access. Like for me is there na same thing. They'll provide you. You can access from anywhere.
So one thing is, can you provide me like the content, course content? It's easy for me, like
Yeah. Yes.
they understand.
Yes. I do have course content also. I'll share with you. Okay, because these guys will have already. I'll just
Yeah,
ask
sir.
them.
Yeah. I'll share it.
Okay, just share with them. And
So
even I.
I can help you to take what's going.
Yes, of course.